Tonight, we continue with our series, From the Front Line to the Home Front, an investigation of post-9/11 veterans back home and in transition. But first, here's a question for you. What do Tom Hanks, some of America's bravest warriors, and Shakespeare all have in common? Can you take the yes? Well, if not, let me enlighten you. They are all players on a stage, built in a partnership between the Department of Veterans Affairs and the Shakespeare Center of Los Angeles. Together, they are acting, building sets, and producing. Let's take a quick look at some of their work.
I'm Tom Hanks. I'm an actor, and I'm playing Falstaff in the Shakespeare Center of Los Angeles production of Henry IV on this very stage that has, in fact, been built by veterans.
I play Mistress Quickly, who runs the tavern in the play Henry IV. They informed us that we were going to be on the grounds of this beautiful VA facility in West LA. The idea that the veterans in transition were going to be our running crew, and they actually built the sets, and they literally carved a theater out of the woods, out of nothing.
Guys and women who, have served our country and now are transitioning into whatever that next phase of their lives are. Wouldn't it be great if some of them went into this very line of work, the same one I'm in?
I was in the United States Navy. I did go to Guantanamo Bay. I was a security guard there.
I was in the United States Marine Corps from 1981 to 1985 on the Marine Corps Silent Drill Team, and we traveled all around the world. I learned about the West LA VA through another veteran who was homeless, and I was struggling with a drug addiction at the time.
The Los Angeles County Department of Mental Health is sponsoring a big piece of the Veterans in Art program, and they are underwriting this special class that we're going to be giving veterans. Came out of all of the conversations was that the veterans really felt that what they wanted most of all was a job that had meaning, a job that was associated with a mission, a job that would help them have a sense of identity and a sense of purpose.
So then there is your answer. And for more insight, both Tom Hanks and Ben Donnenberg, the visionary behind this job and rehabilitation program, join us now. Gentlemen, it's a pleasure to have you here with us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Jack.
Thank you.
And Tom, let me bring you into the conversation here. With all the things that you do in your professional life, what drew you first to the Shakespeare Center and then to the work that they were doing with the veterans?
Well, I'm a professional actor, and there's nobody who, the best job an actor can have is to be in an ensemble doing something like the greatest work of all literature and all of stage. The other thing that is absolutely true is that my life changed the first time I ever was in a play. It was a long time ago. And the same can occur for anybody who has a chance to be exposed to it. You know, an awful lot of the veterans are looking for, let's put it under a bigger subhead of whatever the next chapter is in their lives. And an exposure to almost anything that attracts their passion can lead them on to the life after serving our country, the life after being in the armed forces. For us to be able to utilize space like we had at the Veterans Center, which was outdoor. How many plays did we do outdoors at the VA altogether?
6.
All right, 6. It's outdoors, and that is literally from the ground up, building a theater from the ground up. Everything from the seats to the stage to the lightings to the picnic tables in order to greet people as they arrive. But also then the building of the show itself. When we were able to incorporate men and women who were interested in it, and then watch their passion develop right before our very eyes, and then actually go on and become paid employees of the Shakespeare Center. Well, look, that's not just a happy medium. That's actually the high country in which you actually are introducing people to the next group of folks that they will work with, perhaps, and make a career out of it, but also that fabulous next chapter of their lives that starts from their first exposure to something like being in a play with an ensemble of people. The magic often happens at night, and everything you do in the course of showing up to work helps aid that production from getting done. That if you just want to be from an altruistic perspective of what can we do in order to just be there for the veterans when they come home, to say more than just thank you for your service, but then inviting them into a brand new, different kind of service. When you can do that and have it be as organic as it has been for the Shakespeare Center and the veterans, well, then you're it's almost selfish to think that, hey, we were able to do what we wanted to do, and at the same time introduce people to a whole new way of living.
Tell me quickly about the Shakespeare Center, and then how you decided, let's get involved in these programs that can help bring our veterans to a place where they can gain knowledge about skills to get them back into the real world.
I tried to figure out a way to create a job program that would support the veterans' transitions, and went back to the drawing board and looked at all the different opportunities we had as we build a Shakespeare play that could be applicable to a veteran skill set. And I didn't really know how well it would work out. So the first year I hired professional theater people to back up the vets, and then I never needed any of them. They kind of came in, took over, and ran the show from start to finish.
Tom, let me ask you. You talked about Henry IV. You know, in addition to playing Falstaff, you know, a lot of Shakespearean historians say that he's perhaps one of the most fascinating of Shakespeare's characters. And plus, you get to wear a fat suit, which is kind of cool for the audience. Here's Tom Hanks in a fat suit.
Yeah,
so,
I get to lose 180 pounds a night.
Isn't that great? You need to do a new book on the Tom Hanks diet, lose 180 pounds in one night. So my question is, we know what they get out of it. What did you get out of it?
I get the same exact core experience that the theater promises in the first place. Participation in something that is greater than yourself. You can only control what your own actions are. You can only learn your own lines. You can only put forward the performance that is inside your own head. And you must rely on everybody else who is in the ensemble on stage with you and is backstage. Listen, when we were out on that stage, our professional lives were in somebody else's hands, because if our radio mics go out, and that was all a veteran crew that was putting together our sound system. If the cues don't come to us backstage, if the props are not in the place, if our wigs are out of place, and we had veterans who were responsible for all of those different departments of it, that's the reason that the great secret is that some of us will do this for free. Some of us
Agents don't want to hear you say that.
They don't
That's
need
anathema.
to hear that at all. But the ripple effect of being in a production that is going to run from what was our a month from the 1st of June to the 1st of July is almost, it's not unlike the camaraderie and the skills and the expertise and the leadership that is necessary for what they did on the services as it is.
When we set up our crews, we called them squadrons, and we had platoon leaders, and we used a lot of military jargon to help the vets feel comfortable and understand their identities and their mission and the meaning of their job and the purpose of what they were doing. They all related to that kind of language, so it was fun to have that. And, you know, we had an Tony Award-winning set designer who said, "I've never had the Army build my set." It was that kind of stuff.
And when the Army puts together that speed rail in order for the people to sit down, those grandstands aren't moving. We had moments where we were all getting together for one reason or another, everybody involved in the production, and I think even the actors, the cast themselves, were astounded at how big that photograph actually was.
And in terms of what the workers are doing, again, looking at it, my first thought was, this isn't veterans who are working at theater. They became theater people. What have they been able to go on to do after one of these productions wraps?
In my company, in the fall every year, we do a special production for students, high school students, to introduce them to Shakespeare. And we create an immersive haunted house. And we work with guys from Disney who worked for Disneyland, creating the Haunted Mansion and stuff like that. We kept 7 of those guys on who specialized for us in lighting and sound and painting and construction. Other guys who worked for us that we didn't hold on to went to work at other theaters as ushers. A couple of them went on to Universal Studios. One of them is a sound engineer now. We particularly focus on vets who are service-connected and part of the vocational rehab program at the VA. So they are referred to us by their clinicians who are working with them, because it's been determined that getting a competitive employment environment for them at this point in their lives will be a key transitional opportunity for them. So we hire guys and women who mostly have been out of work for like 4 or 5 years. And they begin to see themselves differently. And they begin to realize that the skill sets they built working for the armed forces can apply in other work environments. And so they build this confidence in themselves to get themselves up and out. So other vets go to work in other venues and in different kinds of jobs that have nothing to do with performing arts, but they get their teeth fixed. They start getting speech coaching. They start dressing differently. They start going out on job interviews. And, you know, there's a whole number of veterans that are a part of an organization called New Directions at the VA who are convicted felons and have to be there. They're court mandated to be there because they have drug problems and all kinds of different issues. Those guys jumped in and they were thrilled to be a part of this, and it really turned a bunch of them around.
We had a moment backstage, and it happened every single night because myself and a few of the cast members were waiting to make our entrance, and we had like 3 minutes in which we had downtime. And one of the guys who was responsible for making sure all the props were in the right place, he and I would sit back together. And every night we talked about how the show was going, how the audience was reacting, how full the moon was that night, or you know, how cold it might be getting. And I can't tell you how often he said, "Boy, I'm really glad I did this. I can't believe I'm involved in something that is as much fun and was as involving to him as being in this play was." And all I could say to him was that, my friend, I feel the exact same way.
So I want to thank you so much for Tom and Ben for spending some time. It was an interesting conversation. We could have gone on for hours. Maybe we'll continue it sometime down the road.
Thanks.
Thanks, Jack.
All right, you both be well. Take care now.
Yeah, you too.
And a reminder for you, for more information on the Shakespeare Center of Los Angeles, the Chapter 31 Vocational Rehabilitation Program through the VA, and the latest movies involving Tom Hanks, make sure you visit us at metrofocus.org.